Hey, welcome to the website WOD number 11. I'm Adam Case from Bright Coconut, and today we're going to talk about design, specifically using images, because imagery is so important. You know, image is worth 1,000 words, all that kind of stuff. I think it's worth more, but anyways, we're going to get into images today, specifically in three areas: sourcing images, editing them, and then placing them in your content. Okay, so first let's talk about sourcing, like finding good images to use. You could take your own, and obviously if you're training people, you should try to take as many pictures as you can. So take your own pictures, and then you don't have to worry about copyright issues or anything. You just have to worry about quality. You can tell this one's kind of blurry. It's because I have a little rinky-dink camera, and this was at a competition. People are moving quickly. So props to anybody who can identify who that is, by the way. And extra bonus points if you know who it is and where it was. Anyways, you can also get a lot of great images off of Flickr. And there's a lot of good reasons why I like Flickr. So let me just show you how I do it at Flickr. It'll make a lot more sense that way. Okay, so here's how you can source some images off of Flickr that you can use on your website wherever you want. Easiest way to do it is go up here to search. When you click on search, yes, you could type something here, for example, and do a search for CrossFit. But let me show you why you don't want to do that. Because let's say you find an image that you like. Let's just go here because say you're trying to pick one for to show deadlift form. This is great. This is totally cool, but check this out. License, copyright, all rights reserved, which basically means you can't use it. Too bad. There is a way around this though. Let's go to search. Let's do CrossFit. But before we hit search, let's hit advanced search. And you will see that what happens is it gives you a bunch of options. Down here at the bottom, Creative Commons. If you're not familiar with the Creative Commons is basically an alternative to a copyright. A lot of people realize, you know what, there's a lot of cool content that's making its way out into the world that doesn't have to have the lock and key of a copyright license on it. So basically what it means is, hey, I created this, but you're welcome to use it. And there's a bunch of details within Creative Commons. It's a really cool system. But what you can do is click that checkbox right there. Only search within Creative Commons licensed content. I usually click on those two, so just keep it all open. Then when you hit search, what happens is you get your search for, in this particular case, CrossFit, and there we go. And all these images have been licensed under Creative Commons, which means you can use them as long as you give attribution. Now, there are some that, depending on the Creative Commons license, may be something like you can use this, but you can't modify it, or you can't use it commercially, meaning like you can't make money off of it, things like that. So you want to look at the Creative Commons license, but most of the time, if you just give attribution for it, you're good to go. So let's say you find one, you're like, ooh, look at this. I haven't seen that one before. It's kind of cool. Go heavy. Hey, that's a cool one. So say you want to use that on your site or whatever. License, some rights reserved, the little I there, which basically means attribution. So as long as you say who you got it from, they're cool with you using it. So here's what I do. Come up to the author, copy the link location of it. That's what you're going to be linking to. And then you can use one of the typical share this options. If you wanted to, you could grab the link, and if you just paste that into your for example, your WordPress site or wherever else, it'll just portray this image. However, you may want to have a little more fine-tooth control than that. So what I often do, because I end up cropping images and all that kind of stuff, is I click the image, and then click the image, click on View All Sizes, and basically you get a list of possibilities here. So then you can choose the size that you want, or if you're thinking of editing it for some reason, you can always grab the original and then scale it down from there. Okay, so once you have your image, let's talk about how to edit it. So there's a lot of different software options. If you're on a Mac, you probably have iPhoto. If you want to spring for a nice piece of software and yet come in like, what, 5 times cheaper or even more, I think, than something like Photoshop or whatever, grab Pixelmator. On Windows, I'm not a Windows guy, so I know Photoscape is a free one that you can download. There's probably others. If you are a Windows person and you know a good image editor, feel free to throw it in the comments. Otherwise, you can grab stuff online. There's Pixlr.com, which I'm going to show you in just a second. And there's Aviary.com, which is beefier. It's kind of like, almost like an online Photoshop. It's pretty intense. It's also free, which is very cool. So let me show you how to edit a photo that you have in Pixlr, so you see how that's done. It's pretty easy. So here's how you use Pixlr. It's Pixlr.com, nice online free photo editor. Click the button and it loads up the photo imager photo editor software stuff. You can create an image from here if you want. You can open an image, which is what we want to do. So we save that last one to our desktop. So we're going to go ahead and open it up. And then basically you just have to play around with the tools. If you've never used an image editor before, these are your tools over here. And you'll notice if you hover over each one, you get a little tooltip, tells you what it is, what it does. A lot of this stuff you're not going to mess with, but say for example crop, you're probably going to use a lot. So basically what you do is just click and drag. Let's say we want just the go heavy part. Jump. Nice thing is it automatically gives you a little guidelines here, which is kind of cool. So let's say I want to get nice and close to the text. I don't know why, but let's just say I do. Get that nice and close the way that you want it. Then usually what you do is keep your cursor in there and hit the enter button, and boom, now it's cropped. And you can save it up here, save it, print it, do whatever you want with it. And that's basically it. Now you can also edit your images in WordPress directly. Let me show you how to do that. So here we are in WordPress. I'm going to show you how to edit an image, for example, to use in something like an image slider. Okay, so here we are. This is just a testing site that I use. You're going to head over to Media and add New, which allows us to then upload an image from our computer. You'll see this one is 1600 by 879 pixels, which means it's huge, which is cool because it means we can do whatever we want with it. We can shrink it down or whatever. So we're going to upload the image. Once you upload an image in WordPress, you're going to get this. Okay, it's going to give you the details of it and everything else. Most people stop there. What we want to do though is click that Edit Image button, and here's our image. Now, most sliders that you'll find out there, sort of the standard cuber slider, a lot of people see, that does other cool transitions and all that kind of stuff. A lot of times it's a very wide but not very tall image aspect ratio. It's just kind of how it's built. So classic is 960 by 305 pixels. Why? I have no idea, but that's just what it is. So let's say here's our image, and we like this image and we want to use as much of it as we can. So what we want to do is make sure that we keep our width to 960, and then we got to shrink our height to 305, but we'll see where that leaves us. So what I would do is click on Scale Image first, put in 960. It's going to automatically do your height for you. Okay, so now it's at 960 width. Then what you want to do is just click on here and drag and make your window, and you can do this and see now I have my full 960 width, but I'm at 314 tall. So I can grab this and shrink it, and if your mouse or whatever has enough control, great, there's 305. If not, you can just enter it in. But it's a little trickier. It's easier just to drag. So that's good. Actually, let's lower it down just a little bit. So maybe we cut the top of our leg, but then at least we get the more of the dude's shirt. Something like that. So let's say we go with there. Now, click the crop button right there. Bada bing. There's 960 by 305. Hit save. Okay. 304. Close enough. WordPress has a tendency to do that, which is why I don't edit images in WordPress all that often. But, hey, there you go. So then what you want to do is you want to copy your, well actually let's save it here first. Ta-da! Okay, and you will see if you go into, what is it? If you go into edit it now, it says 960 by 304. This is just showing you the thumbnail view, but now if you'll look at your file URL, you'll see it's got an E, which I think is for edit, but it's got all this extra detail on the end. If you now copy this, you can paste it into whatever configuration screens you have for your slider. A lot of Woo themes will take images from a post and put those into a slider, so you can just do it that way. Some themes you have to actually go in and edit a config file and put it in, and it needs the link to the image. Well, that's the link to the cropped image right there. Okay, so once you've got your image and you've got it edited to the size and everything that you want or that you need, or you may not even have to edit it. If you get something off Flickr, it might be just perfect for you. Let's talk about placement, because placement of issues is something that a lot of people don't give much attention to, but it can really make a difference. So what most people do is they align something to the left. So they take an image, they throw it in, align left is standard, which is fine, but then imagine you're sitting here reading this, okay? Bacon strips and bacon strips and bacon strips, and everybody loves the guys over at Epic Mealtime. So bacon strips and bacon strips and bake, and then your eye has to go, it's been so used to just tink, 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 and then all of a sudden your eye has to go, whoa, way over here, and then back. Now you might be thinking, dude, like, so what? And in some cases it is a so what, but in some cases it's big. You know, this is a tall, skinny image. If you had a wider image, then the effect would be even more pronounced, and it's just sort of an interruption in the flow of things. So, can we do better? Yeah, I think we can do better. Some people like to line their images center. Problem if you have a tall image and you're doing this, of course, is then you have all this funky white space. That's bad. Okay, we can definitely do better. Ta-da! Align it to the right. Very easy. All you do is click the box to make it align the right instead of the left, and look what happens. As you read, your eye just flows down and then flows along. Because, at least if you're an English speaker, we're reading from left to right, having a consistent left margin is very important when it comes to ease of use. So align right, in my opinion, beats out align left anytime. Is align right the only option? No, of course not. There are other options, such as align center, the new and improved version. If you have a tall, skinny image, like this one, chances are you're better off just using align right. But if you have the option to landscape it and use the full width of your content area. You can see here in this image, we basically made it so that it takes up the full content width, and the text just continues above and below. It's striking visually. It fills the content area so you have no dead white space, and it makes the image really stand out and do its job. So if you have the width, go for it. Otherwise, I'd stick with align right, but aligning your images center in your content area like this is a golden way to go, just for bang up impact. All right, go out there, rock your images. We'll see you next time.